better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good, for goodness sake. You better watch out. Hello, my fellow Grounder Founders. I am joined here today by my beautiful girlfriend.
Hello.
And we're going to be watching Enter the Gungeon today.
Oh, I knew it was going to look like that. You know what I was talking about, though?
Yeah, not really.
Well, because there's a lot of conversation that goes on in my head that I don't think actually comes out, and then I kind of just start mid-sentence and
Yeah.
you have no idea what I'm saying. But
I do pretty good most of the time, but
well, no, like the menu there, the font when it's sort of broken, but that particular font, it's always kind of this style. Did you notice that?
I mean, yeah. So no.
Yes, honestly, look at all the games that are sort of looks like this sort of, I don't know, reminds me like Pac-Man style or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very pixelated, very
That's what I
retro.
mean, and it always has that same font. Like I knew it would look like
But
this.
something that I do love with these games is how bright and colorful it is,
Mhm.
even though it is pixelated. Like they don't use some games use pixelated or retro as an excuse to look crappy, but a lot of games recently have stepped it up in colors and beautiful sprite work. And so let me explain what you're looking at here. It's it's kind of like a twin shooter, um, a little.
What's a twin shooter?
You know, thank you for asking. Um,
I'll probably be the only one that doesn't
no, that's not true at all. I was actually that brings me up to like a huge thing I've been thinking about actually
Mhm.
is uh, is how little we know, um, and how people just get comfortable in their worlds, but there are so many worlds out there, and I don't mean traveling dimensions. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about so let me explain what this game is first before I get into all that. It's a roguelite, and you've seen those games before with that fantastic game that seemed pixelated where we went through the dungeon and I forget the name now, but so would you, so it's pointless to tell you. Remember the beautiful game where you step into the cave and I told you how hard it was, and it's almost like a strategy game because you have to figure out how you're going to get out? It was tower defense slash this.
Mhm.
I thought that was super cool. But what happens every time is when you die, you die. Your
Mhm.
progress isn't saved. You don't get to, you know, pick up from where you left off. So, that's what this game does. And sometimes I really, 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 really hate games of that type. Um, and it's because they they're too unforgiving. They become really repetitive. They
Mhm.
bore me. There's so much crap going on here, and it's so bright and colorful. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I honestly thought it would be a great game for the holidays because Night Trap really disappointed me.
I don't know what the hell that was. Like sometimes when things are like ridiculous, they're still entertaining, funny. I just thought that was weird.
I couldn't enjoy it because I had to keep switching away from the hilarious bad acting.
Right.
You
I
know, so
agree.
what was I supposed to do? Am I really supposed to play the game through using? I mean, I know I'm not supposed to use a walkthrough, but I'm supposed to play this game over and over again like an old arcade game that wants you to give it a ton of money. and miss all the story and all of what people are saying. I mean, it seems like just a trial and error situation, and that's just terrible design.
Mm.
But this game with all its bright colors, really, I almost thought it was kind of like Christmas lights, you know?
Mm.
It's so bright, it's so fast. I literally watched some of this last night, figuring out what I was gonna do, and I kind of just zoned out as I watched me playing footage of it after I just played it, because so much is going on, and I'm really rooting for me. I hope you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like you can tell how challenging it is. I
Mm.
hope. And again, you only have those hearts at the top. Once those hearts go, you have to start the entire run over
Oh,
again.
wow.
And I don't want to say how far I've made it or anything, but this is only after like one or two times of playing it, and I've gotten pretty good.
Mm.
Uh, I,
No,
I
there's a lot going on. I can definitely see that. Challenging. Mm.
so the chests have different colors for their worth. Like green chests, I think, are lower tier than blue, but honestly, I don't remember. Um, but anyway, yeah. So twin stick shooters. One thumbstick is used for moving, the other thumbstick is used for aiming and shooting.
Mm.
This game is also kind of like a bullet hell, though. And bullet hells are, you can kind of see how many bullets they put
I
on this.
like the Bullet King.
Yeah, you can kind of see how many bullets they put on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Watch, like, look. That's why I call it a bullet hell, because where's the clear path through that? Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
And I've got
exactly.
these blanks to the upper left, and those let me clear whatever's on the screen. See, if you can't figure out a way through it, anyway, um, there's just so many genres, like shoot 'em ups. It's just crazy. Anyway,
I'm watching his little face.
yeah, yeah, pretty sure it's a Game of Thrones pun, because his chair. You know
Mm-hmm.
how iconic the chair is from Game of Thrones. I think it's supposed to be like that.
No, I didn't, but thank you.
I think I could be wrong.
No, I just like I don't even think I know what it looks like. Again, I think I'm the only person who hasn't seen that.
I haven't seen it either though.
Oh, you haven't at
No,
all?
no, no, no. I want to though. There's lots of things. I really, really did enjoy um, Breaking Bad, and everybody talks and raves about that, but it's so boring.
Really?
Um, oh, I die in this one. Isn't that interesting? I didn't remember that. I guess I didn't get as. Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No, no. I honestly thought this was the one where I made it. I don't want to give it away, but I
Mm-hmm.
made it a little far. Um, but anyway, I guess we're starting to run for real now. But do you see what I'm saying? Once you lose your lives, it's game over,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, you're right. It's more arcade, like yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes I hate that. Like, I don't know if you remember. Remember Pyre from last year?
Yes, I do actually. Wow.
And do you remember Transistor?
Uh,
It's literally, I've got a poster of it right there. That's the one with the sword and the girl, the talking one. That was just utterly beautiful. It's technology based. You could
I'm
pause it.
sure. Like I'd have to like see it. We've
Yeah,
seen so
yeah, yeah.
many.
It's true, and that's kind of my point. I've brought you into this world that I thought was amazing. Um, I thought
Mm.
it gives you escapism. It gives you something to focus on. It gives you something to challenge yourself with. It's a new thing every week. It's not. It's not. It just lets me keeps things fresh.
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh no. No, what I was gonna say when you were saying that, I think the one thing throughout all of this, since you know you started, you know, doing this and introducing me, is I had no idea that this world existed. I literally thought, I don't know, like,
Yeah,
what are the
it was
ones people, like a lot of the
Call of Duty
Call of
and
Duty and
Madden and
sports,
stuff. Yeah.
yes. And I literally thought that was, I know it sounds really kind of ignorant, but I honestly,
But that's
and
also
like
the point.
Mario, maybe like I heard a few things, but I did not know all these sort of ones that like I'd never even heard of, in all the different types and the art involved and the creation. So I have to say, like, it is a big world, and I'm like
Yeah,
super impressed.
and that's my point. I work with a family, and they're into travel. So if you ask them what highway to take, they'll know. In quite a few states, like this is the best highway to take, but it gets kind of crowded. Um, and if you ask them how beautiful Australia is, everyone knows how beautiful Australia is, and some of them don't deserve to. But that's a different point. But honestly, I was just marveling at, and I saw a movie not last night, but the night before, called Borg versus McEnroy, and it was a tennis movie.
Really?
And at the beginning of the movie, it gave a quote, and guess who the person was?
Oh,
Shia LaBeouf was one of
really?
the actors. So I actually turned it on because I wanted to see
Yeah.
how maybe he's picked up his life, where things are at.
Yeah.
Can he pull this off, or is this going to be awful?
Yeah.
He kind of plays a spoiled baby, so that helps.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the quotes when the movie first comes on is, um, tennis is like a microcosm of life. There's loss, there's love, there's like, I'm not kidding. One of the quotes was that, and I realized, and then the movie showed, and his somebody's parents were with them as they were practicing. Somebody was doing this, um, but they were in their world. He said, I've been to Wimbledon 4 times. Can I make it fifth? And it's all leading to this one big match. And the movie's, I mean, I turned it off just because it was late and I went into a weird space. But honestly, it really dawned on me how little I know. And that's all, like that's the Aristotle quote. I pretty much I know enough to know that I know nothing. And my elderly friend Bill said something. The elderly friend Bill said something similar to that, and I thought that was fairly interesting.
Yeah, and what you're talking about, like, that is so true. And sometimes you don't realize it, but when your friend was talking about all the countries, like 43 countries, I'm like, my God, I haven't barely made it out of the state.
And those are the ones that he recorded. I know you didn't know what he meant at the time, and I couldn't step in there and be like, no, he's sound of mind. What he means is, when he dropped in countries for the army, they didn't, stamp his passport. Then he was trying to make a joke. His
Yeah.
jokes fell short, I know. But yeah, continue.
No, but he was just talking about literally he's seen the world and just all the places he's been. And I was thinking, oh my God, I've basically seen the same thing.
Yeah,
And it's like, but sometimes you just get boxed into your own life.
exactly. But even him, even that worldly man who has given so much to his family, and gave them all jobs, gave them all something to appreciate, gave them all beautiful homes and all of this stuff because of his entrepreneurship, or whatever. Um, Even he's boxed in, and he only knows his world. If you think about it, he only knows the trip. he went from somebody who was extremely worldly to only knowing the travel industry.
Right.
So sure, you're like, wow, he's so worldly, but actually, if you think about it, my point is, none of us are. You met me and you think I know a lot, but if you break it down, I know a little about. Okay, I've kind of memorized some, psychology stuff. Because at one point I have photographic memory, but I haven't practiced enough, so I've kind of lost that almost.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you'd think I'd know a lot, but if you break it down, it's like art, psychology, music, movies, video games, you know. And sure, that's a fairly impressive list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to give myself credit. I'm trying not to be, you know, I'm not trying to be, brag about it. I was just
No,
trying
I
to
know
be
you're
like,
not.
I was just trying to make a point. Like you'd look and you'd be like, oh, music, this, that, this, that's cool.
Right.
Um, but then I really started to think about it. I know nothing because I was watching this movie, and they were practicing tennis. They were testing the rackets. They were looking up serves, and I was like, I know nothing about this, and I know nobody in my life knows nothing about this because none of us has played tennis. But to a lot of people, this is their world. Can I win the next match? Will I win it? Can I win this year? That's all they think about. And then if you think about Steve Irwin, and that's almost why I enjoy watching YouTube sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
because I get a glimpse at all of these people and all of these lives. Steve Irwin, talking about almost being killed by a python when he was a kid. He was trying to scoop poop, and the python literally wrapped itself around him and began to, constrict him and kill him.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
If that finished, there goes Steve Irwin. We never would have gotten a crazy crocodile wrestling man. Um, but again, what does he? If you really break down, what does he know? It's just about animals, And as no matter how hard we try, we will inevitably become specialists at something.
Right. But I mean, I think that's
Like my family, they were really into school. So what do I know? I was really familiar with the school lingo and school inner workings and
right.
stuff. And I mean, what are you really familiar from? You built an entire life for your family. Um, and you're an amazing woman, strong, powerful, and you built an entire life, and that's all they know. And just so I mean, please continue. And feel free to cut me off anytime you want.
Oh no, no, I was
Um,
just listening. But I mean, I guess there's no way you have to have passion and interest in things, and you know, like I may not find tennis exciting. I'm always interested to learn something, but we can't know everything because, like, to hold your interest, you have to have passion about things, and you know, we all have our little sort of nook in life. I don't think that's being stuck. I think that's more just your interests and passions and what in keeps you going. But what I do find interesting is like kind of realizing how much you get stuck in your own little routine and you forget how much of a big world it is.
right. That's kind of my point. Is that you focus so much on the daily grind that you forget that uh, you know just to use a thing, but like think about it. Soccer players, what do they focus on? What's their everyday?
Mm-hmm.
It's just soccer. They don't pay attention to anything else.
Well, it's interesting. How I've been listening to that app, like that helps you like sleep or meditate or whatever. But how Matthew McConaughey reads a story. It's just more for like relaxation and everything. he's just got a very nice voice. Plus, I just like his personality, so it's just so interesting. But he starts it off with a little intro from his own perspective, and he said that he's had the opportunity to talk to some, really amazing people, and what he um, realized is that, as he puts it, um, he says, God's backyard is bigger than I realized. And so I keep hearing that every time I listen to it, and I'm like, wow, so he is, an actor, performer, obviously has accomplished a lot, has a lot of opportunity and privilege, and he's still amazed um, by the world around him. There's so much more that he
Yeah,
hasn't experienced.
yeah,
And it's like, so that kind of impressed me too. I'm like, okay, so you've done all of this and have all this opportunity, and you're still in wonder of what the world holds. And I think recently talking to your friend about all the places just sparked my imagination and hope of seeing more of the
well,
world.
that's why, I wanted you to talk to him, because I knew it would. I knew you think going to Maine made you worldly, and I kind of wanted to.
I
I,
didn't think that.
well, you kind of did. You kind of did. And I kind of wanted to open your eyes, because some days I am crippled, and other days I want to conquer the world.
Yeah.
And it was really the realization that no matter how hard I try, I will never be able to. Because there will always be some aspect of life that is locked up to me. And I don't like to half-ass things. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it. So if I'm going to live, I'm going to live and take advantage of everything. And and it's very exhausting to do that sometimes. But like that's one of my coping mechanisms, I think. And I was really grappling with the fact that no matter how much I push myself, I will never experience everything.
Well, it's
Um,
interesting you say that, and I mean, I'm saying this for you, that you're a very intelligent person and very driven, and it kind of reminds me of a relative who passed away recent, like in the past year and a half. Um, but what was so fascinating is that, um, in his 80s, the one thing he said, making peace with it, was that there was still so much that he wanted to learn. And I guess that opened up my eyes. I'm like, I guess I thought, like, oh my gosh, by the time I get to my 80s, I will have kind of checked all the boxes. And I'm like, that's really probably the secret to life, is just always wanting new things and learning, and that there's so much out there. And kind of like Matthew McConaughey said, is that there's a big backyard out there, and I just found that really fascinating,
yeah, yeah.
that just always have that
Well,
drive to
even
learn.
actors, they get to glimpse into these lives, but at the end of the day, they'll only play the roles that they know. They'll never be able to play, the they'll never get to go from, the drug dealer to the tennis match to the soccer player. They'll get glimpses, but they'll never truly know
Mm-hmm.
everything still. Even with their access, their money,
Mm-hmm.
um, they'll only know how exhausting it is to do a play,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, so it started out. Oh, by the way, this game. Um, I've been waiting to play it for so long. It's phenomenal. I was very happy and surprised. Um, there's a ton going on, which I really love. It reminds me of Hotline Miami in that sense.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Like, I guess I'm starting to recognize the different, but yeah, I like this one. I just think
It is
it looks fun,
fun.
and it's
Yeah,
just
it is
like you
fun.
said, very colorful, and I like the
Yeah, Hotline
character.
Miami and Fury, probably my two favorite games, just because of the intensity that you have to have when you
Mm-hmm.
play it. And
Oh, you're so on.
And this game did not disappoint. You need an unparalleled level of intensity as well. So anyway, uh, yeah. Let me see. We can stop. We can stop
Gungeon.
here. I know. But get ready, and I have to edit and undoubtedly make you quieter.
Why?
No, you were pretty loud in the beginning.
Was
Sometimes you start recording, and I'll be whispering, and then you'll enter like you're at a bar,
that?
you know. But it's part of the charm.
It's the Boston.
Yeah, yeah. But But honestly, I really try to evaluate my goals and my immediate passions because I could not do everything. But I really spiraled out of control from that thought because I don't take anything lightly. Like when I try to do a favor for you, I need to go above and beyond. Um, and I hope it always makes you feel good. Blah 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 blah.
No, I know you always like.
Like for Christmas,
Mm,
I want you to have that face. You saw the text.
I know.
I want you to have. I want you to be that happy.
I know you really do.
I really do.
You always try to make me so happy, and you always give like you could give 50%, and I'd be so happy, but you give like 150%. You're really just very sweet to me.
You deserve it.
Yes, I
That's
do.
why.
Oh.
And if Christmas sucks this year for you, anybody who's listening, just buy yourself a gift and give yourself a little credit. Buy yourself something. Make yourself something if you don't have the money. Or find a special person in your life, even if they don't like you back. Just do something nice for them, make them feel good. Because you know, um, we'll never do anything. We'll never do everything. So just do something
Right.
this month.
And you know what? I'm actually looking forward to it, which is, I mean, it's always been kind of stressful. And I think, honestly, if you have a lot of obligations or a lot of stress or like, family dynamics, like,
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes it can be a little challenging and stressful and a lot of emotional stuff at the holidays, good, bad, and otherwise.
yeah, yeah.
But I think we've really just turned things around with that. We realize it's just a few hours, just
Yeah,
one day.
yeah.
No need to stress about it. Like,
So true, so true. By the way, did you like how I saw the Matrix at the end of this thing? How I was able to move through all those bullets without dodge rolling once? No,
yeah,
no, no. You saw that,
yeah,
right?
like that. Yes,
Because there was a ton going on screen, and I don't think I got hit once. And I was like, oh, that's why
sweet.
I recorded this. You know.
um,
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your valuable input. It's always appreciated. Always shut me up, if you've got something important to say.
no, I like listening
Um,
to you. I didn't really have anything important to say, but I think it's just.
you always, no, 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 and that's one of the main
Oh,
things on this TV show, or this stupid thing, whatever you want to call it, is that anybody listening, and you, if you've got something to say, then it is important. We really have to start thinking that way. And I don't think that way either. But that's how you should think.
No, I do agree. I do agree. I just feel like we're casually talking, but I do think it's like, especially at this time of year, it is just important to keep thing in, keep things in perspective. And the bottom line is, I think your happiness is your responsibility. And you really, like you said, if things aren't exactly the way you want them, and you don't not sure how to change it, try to do something nice for yourself. Or
Very,
surround yourself with someone who makes you happy.
very true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. Um, you know,
All right. Well, would be nice if you liked and subscribed. We would appreciate it.
Yeah.
But we just basically hope that someone, enjoys it and it helps them.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.